All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 18th, 2011, and we're going to go through a recap of the morning's trades here. Let's just start right out with what we did do here, what we ended up with here. We ended up with minus 2 ticks on the ES and plus 10 ticks on the YM. All right, now I'll show you the trades we took and what we experienced while we were doing it. All right, to some degree anyway. Let me scroll back over here a little bit. Back to the morning. Here we go. All right, so we started out here at 9:30. There were no trades right in here, guys. It was the chop bands were inside the band here, so we didn't have anything going on over there. Finally, the BBC got outside the box. It drew down, way down here. We took a short right here. This was the bubble. We took a short right here, and we made 8 ticks on it. After that, we had another bubble create right here, and a pull back up to the BBC. When it pulled back up to the BBC, it went right through it, and it stopped us out, so we gave those 8 ticks right back. All right, we made 2 points here, gave up 2 points there. Then we were waiting to see what the market was going to do. The BBC never got outside of the box here, though we did have a nice big bubble. The BBC never got outside the box. All right, stayed inside it for a little while here. Oops, not sure what's going on with that. But it stayed inside it for a little while here. Up till right here. And right here when it stayed in, we pulled back. We had a big bubble here and a pullback down to the BBC. We went long right there, and we took 8 ticks profit on that. I did make a mistake in here somewhere. When I was moving a stop around, I accidentally entered, and I took a 2 tick loss on it. When I meant to move my order, and I accidentally entered, and I took a 2 tick loss on that. Let's see, in here we were going into a zone, or we were in a zone, so we weren't trading in there. Over here we went short underneath the zone. This was right at the end of the morning session. We went short right underneath the zone. And you see we had a bubble right here, and it pulled back up to the BBC, which just made it outside the box, and that stopped us out right there. So that's how we ended up with minus 2 ticks on the morning session. All right. We did have another long trade right in here. You know, we would have triggered in here on the long side because we used an MIT order. That one would have worked out, and that would have been the end of it for the morning trading. All right. We also took a trade over here on the 10K this morning. I'll show you that one right there. We had a bullish cross right here with a pullback down to the BBC. The cycle was in favor of it. DMT was in favor of it. And we went long right here. Once we had a point in the trade, we moved our stop up to break even, and we got stopped out right there at break even. So we didn't make any money on that trade this morning. One thing worth pointing out, though, is after the market opened, we had a pierce of the envelope right here, suggesting a 5 to 6 point move down, and we got exactly 5 points down from there. We had another pierce of the envelope right over here with a green trend strength line, suggesting a 5 to 6 point move up. It went from 92.75 all the way up to 1203 half for an 11-point move before it started to retrace a little bit. In here this morning, we were talking about how to trade zone to zone if you're going to try to trade zone to zone, and I had suggested back here when price was back here to look up here and possibly trade 1201.75. Okay, to possibly trade 1201.75 with a 2-point stop on it. That would have worked out to be a great trade. It would have, well, not a great trade. It would have worked out to be an okay trade. It went within a tick of our stop, and the reason I said that, I was just looking left with price action. I was looking left with price action, and then price dropped down from that entry level, 96.78. So that was a 5-point move down from there to there. It was 5 points down. Okay, I drew this trend line in. Thank you, Robert. I drew this trend line in right here at the end of the morning session. When price popped back up above that trend line, that was a pretty good indication that it was going to keep going up. That was during the break, and it did keep going up from there. All right, so I didn't take any other trades in that scenario, but what we were looking for was a possible short from 1201.75, a zone-to-zone short, which would have went, probably 15 points is what we're looking for. So it would have been 2 points risk for possibly 15 points gained. Now let's move over here to the YM. quickly. Okay, I missed a couple of trades over here on the YM, and I took a trade over here on the YM. All right, I missed this first trade this morning. It was right at the open, very first trade. It was a textbook trade, really. We had the bullish cross right here. First pull back down to the BBC. We even had divergence to support the trade with a move right up to the MA1 where it was rejected, sent back down to the BBC, and then it moved up and put in a double top right here. All right, I missed that trade. That would have been a nice winning trade. Over here, this was a nice setup. Textbook again. We had a bearish cross, pull back up to the BBC. BBC also happened to be right at a weekly trading zone, which gave more support to the trade. We also had some divergence. So I shorted there, and when it got down here, I moved my stop up to plus 10 ticks, and it came back and got me a plus 10 ticks. All right. The next one was over here. I didn't take this trade because it was going right into a weekly trading zone over here. Obviously, that one worked out, and we didn't have any more in here since then. All right. Right now, we have divergence. Possibly right now, if we had a close up above the MA1, we could look for a divergence long trade up into this area right here. All right. So on the morning, we ended on the YM plus 10 ticks and on the ES minus 2 ticks. Okay. On the ES plus 10 and on the YM minus 2. And that was our morning.